So we have a new guest today, Charania, and she's not new to Daya, but new to Chai Time. So welcome.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Charanya. I've been with Daya for the last 6 months or so, which I joke in nonprofit years is like dog years. So I've pretty much been here for many, many years. And I'm Daya's new Director of Development and Outreach. So basically, I head up our fundraising as well as our community outreach initiative. So just getting Daya's name even more out there in our community.
Love it. And of course, we have Monsi, and she is the client advocate.
Yeah, client advocate.
So welcome back. It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, I think last time it was February or March, maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a couple months.
It
But
has been,
happy to be back.
Yeah, well, we're almost back down to February, so
Yeah.
it has been a long while.
Yeah. That's December.
Yeah, it does. It really
I
does.
can't believe it's December 1st.
I know.
I know. It's the
This
yeah. We're
year
almost
has
at the new
been
year.
a whirlwind.
It
Like
really
every
truly.
month has been like its own year
Yeah,
almost.
in every way possible. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so our topic today is on lighting the path to healing, the journey to safety. So we do have a lot of questions to ask. So shall we get to it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So, like I said, we have our new person today from Daya to Chai Time, Charanya. Charanya, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what work you do at Daya?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I mentioned, I am the Director of Development and Outreach at Daya. So, development refers to basically fund development. So, I basically head up the fundraising for Daya. We are considered like a medium-sized nonprofit. We have about a $2 million budget. So, that's what we're looking to raise each year. But as part of development, it's also in-kind support to Daya. So, food and we have a little Monday in our office, so we do a lot of food drives as well as, personal hygiene drives, various drives that help support our clients as well, back to school drives, things like that. So anything that supports our clients, financial as well as in-kind support. And then the second piece, like I mentioned, is just community outreach. So, part of Daya's work is also to end the cycle of abuse. So that requires a lot of community outreach, education, trainings, things like that. So I sort of head up that wing of Daya as well. So I've been in Houston for the last decade or so and in nonprofit for most of that time. So it's definitely, as soon as I got the opportunity to join Daya, I jumped over. So I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, great. Now, tell me how the food drive works. Is it on a certain day, or is it like you guys have it on a monthly basis? How does that?
We certain times of the year when our Monday is especially running low, we activate food drives. So we actively reach out to our supporters and ask for support. But throughout the year, we have community volunteers who help us host drives. So be it just personally with their friends or, through their schools, through their places of worship, through their communities. So Thanksgiving especially is one of those times of the year where everyone is eager to help out. Food is such a big part of Thanksgiving. And so we have, and especially, with the past month with the SNAP cuts, a lot of our clients were just impacted as well. So it happens both ways. We initiate food drives as well as the community reaches out to us to organize food drives for us. So we welcome both. We'll squeeze in any support we can get in our office. And whenever clients come to our office for services, as they leave, they get to kind of shop our little pantry, and it's always a joy to, let them be able to do that. Yeah. So if anyone's interested in host work. Yes.
And the new year is coming fast ahead. What are some things you are grateful for and looking forward to in the new year? We can do both. So whoever wants to go first.
Well, I can say in terms of clients, I would love for SNAP benefits to come back for them. Just being on the topic of that, because that definitely impacted every client who has public benefits right now. So that was definitely a hard thing to watch clients go through in November. But luckily Charanya kind of led an initiative to get as many food donations, so we were able to get that out to clients. So that was really good. But for myself personally, just rest. as an advocate or all of us on the CS team, it can be a very emotionally taxing for us.
Yeah.
And I know November specifically, every advocate or counselor, we kind of went through it this month. So just hoping that all of us, even just as a team, we can just rest, heal, and then start the new year fresh.
Recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, personally, I'm also just always grateful and hope for good health. Quality time with my family. I have a 10, 12-year-old, so my life sort of revolves around them as well. But I think just, my biggest thing I'm grateful for this year is joining Daya. And, we're approaching next year, 2026 is Daya's 30th anniversary. So that's really exciting for us. So we're on a very exciting phase of growth. We want to reach more clients, make a bigger impact. So I'm grateful to sort of be part of that phase of Daya as well.
Love it. So, what is the inspiration behind the theme of today, lighting the path of healing?
Yeah, so lighting the path of healing, it really is just inspired by our very own Daya clients. Every day in our communities, we have survivors of domestic and sexual violence that sort of take their first very brave steps towards safety and healing. And for many of them, that journey begins with Daya. They reach out to us, and when we talk to our clients and survivors, many of them describe their experience with Daya as moving from darkness to light, right? So with the services and support that they receive, they're able to rebuild their lives, create safety, confidence, independence in their lives, right? So being able to provide that light for survivors is something that Daya does. So I would say the theme really sort of honors the resilience of Daya's clients, of these survivors. But on the other side, it also sort of celebrates the broader Daya community that supports our work, right? So from our staff, our advocates, and then to just our community advocates, from donors to volunteers to anyone who offers support to Daya in any way, every single act of support also provides that light for our survivors to be kind of illuminate their journey towards safety, healing, and hope. So that's really what sort of inspired this theme as we were thinking about sort of November, December, the end of the year, the season of giving, the season of hope. As a team, this is what we sort of, it resonated with us.
Yeah. I would love to hear some stories, some positive stories that you guys might have with your client survivors.
Yeah. I have a couple.
Okay.
And I've talked about a couple of other clients in the past, but I would say this year I had this client. Of course, we have to keep names confidential. But I can say she was Iranian, and in her case, had come from Iran. It was a love marriage, so not necessarily my normal typical type of client. And she was an attorney from back home, and she has a 4-year-old daughter who unfortunately has a disability. But the physical and emotional violence just escalated extremely fast once they moved to the United States. And so she is a very strong, resilient person. And because of her background as an attorney, she went to the police, she went to the district attorney's office, and she found she found her way through the protective order process. And that's how she then found Daya. And she has been my client for about 2 years. And we had helped her. I would say her biggest barrier or challenge was the legal aspect. So the divorce and managing the custody. And because of her child's condition, the husband really was not interested in, taking part of anything, but he would use that as a tool to kind of manipulate her in the situation and the financial situation and everything. But anyways, we had helped her find an attorney. We had provided legal services, and helped pay her retainer and everything. And she did not budge until she was happy with everything that she wanted.
Good for her.
But that meant that she had to compromise some things. So she ended up having to compromise custody itself. because she didn't have the financial means to be able to care for her child, though the husband did. But she came back, I would say, three months ago, and she updated me about everything. She's enrolled in school. She is trying to now become an accountant here in the U.S. She's enrolled in school. She has a car. She found her own apartment.
Wow.
Like a new apartment.
Right.
Obviously, initially, we had done a lot of safety planning and
Of course.
housing. This is about, let's say, a year after everything happened. But she came to the office and she just shared everything that she's gone through in the last year. And she talked about how Daya was the key part of that journey for her. And she even took me out to chai. There's a little bakery right next to her office, and she insisted. And just hearing her story, and you could see the light in her eyes.
Yeah.
And her body has just come back. Her passion for a living came back. And, you know, we talk about what is justice. Sometimes justice doesn't come to us through a traditional avenue. It comes to our outlook and how we find peace. And she has found peace. But luckily, Daya was able to be part of that journey. So I would say that was one of my happier stories for this year. Another client of mine, she fled. It was more so like it was an extreme stalking harassment situation from her mother in California, and she fled to Texas, and she was quite older actually, but it's a testimony to how the generational abuse affects you.
Yeah.
And it took her nearly 45 years to realize that even your parents, because, sometimes it's not just an intimate partner, it's your family. And so it took her a long time to emotionally heal. But we were able to provide 1 year of financial assistance and rental assistance to her, which then helped her apply to get student loans, to apply to get into nursing school. So she is also enrolled in nursing school. And I get emails from her every now and then, and she updates me also about how that's going. So she's now in school. She completed one certification, so now she's going for her next nursing degree, essentially. But she talks about the same thing, that what I actually think is that financial stability is really the key.
Yeah.
Because financial stability is what allows survivors to have freedom. And so Daya having that ability to provide that, even for a short amount of time, or even if it's a legal retainer, or even if it's utility assistance, it really can make a huge impact for a survivor. So those small things add up. So her case is another one where she's doing so much better, and she's really now had the time to heal those years and years of trauma and abuse, and pursue a career in nursing, and she's doing really well.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
I mean, I'd never think that it would be a parent. I mean, I always hear, again, like when we hear about violence, domestic violence, it's always a partner.
Yeah.
I never hear about a parent. This is the first time.
It's a unique case.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit complex because it was the parent, but then a friend of the parent, and they kind of both were triangulating her into a situation that was not good. Because there was a lot of stuff. Yeah. The well-meaning friends can be harmful, and in this case, they really were. So, again, building that trust also with that client initially was a key part, because she was extremely fearful of trusting anyone, because there was so much technological stalking in her situation, because they kept finding her and tracking her. So building that trust with her and gaining her trust, whether it was from our helpline advocate, instead of doing a phone intake, they actually met in person, and they did a 2-hour in-person intake. that helped build some trust.
Yeah.
Then, that's how we it was a long process,
Yeah,
but
step by step.
it was
Yeah.
step by step, but ultimately, it's yield great rewards. So
You guys do realize how much you guys do for these people. Like every time that you guys come on the show, I'm always at such an awe because of the amount of work and energy and love that you guys put into it. It's as if you guys are taking these people under your wing and pretty much like helping them grow to get out of situations and just holding their hand throughout the whole thing. And I don't think I know, I mean, again, I don't know very many nonprofits, but the ones that I do, like, I feel like you guys are one of the top ones on my list, because the way that you guys just take every step to ensure the safety that they're getting, from food to the care to even making sure the kids have daycare services available if that is a need. I mean,
yeah, I would say
it's a lot.
That is unique compared to
Yeah.
other nonprofits. We do approach things from a very emotionally compassionate place.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, even as the CS team, every week in our CS team meetings, we each are discussing each other's clients too. So, I may have my whatever set allocated number of clients, but we all work together. And Daya is very unique that way. And we don't put time limits on our session times with clients. If a client is in crisis, we will spend 4 hours or 5 hours on the phone or in person with them if that's what is required.
Yeah.
But that's what makes us unique, but that is also what allows them to heal. It's what they need, because they're not getting that from anyone else.
So I wonder, like, I know, like, psychologists and counselors and things like that, how they have, when they're sitting with their patients and they're talking to them and they're hearing their stories, it's a lot to take in. And you guys as client services, that's a lot to take in. So how do you decompress from that? Like, how do you move from, like, when you go home, like, what do you do? Like, I can't even imagine what my mindset would be once I hear all these stories, and when I go home, like, I know I would be a mess. So
Yeah, I think it's hard. I won't say it's easy. I think over time, we each build our own set of tools. So I have, like, my little list of what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And it's self-care. So, first thing, if there's been a very major crisis with a client, the first thing is try and take some time off. And if that isn't possible, then self-care. Well, I try to incorporate self-care all the time.
Good.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
For me, music is a big part of my life. So, like, music, I do pottery. I love pottery. That's, like, very meditative and healing for me. I only watch happy things now.
Yeah.
So, like, I love Law and Order SVU and, like, all my crime shows, but since I've been working at Daya, I've, like, stopped all of the really, like,
Intense
gory,
shows. Yeah.
intense shows. So I just watch, like, happy, cheesy, yesterday I was watching a
rom-com.
Yeah, like a Christmas rom-com. But spending time with friends, family, trying to laugh, like, making sure to, like, okay, don't bring it home.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
I would add that one of the, as I was considering moving to Daya, one of the amazing benefits that Daya offers also is monthly personal time off for all staff, which they can just use for whatever they need, right? So just take a day off to decompress.
Yeah.
And when and a staff does that, we always ensure there's enough support from the other staff, right, to be able to cover them so that we don't have to bother them no matter what.
Wow.
So it's not that you're off, but you're still sort of kind of working. No, when you're off, you're off. And I think that's become a very rare thing in any sector, right?
Yeah.
And it's especially very rare, I can say, in the nonprofit sector. So having that time to truly decompress, and then but having your sort of the Daya family step in to make sure that your clients are taken care of and whatever support you need. I think that's integral to be able to
Again,
sustain like a
But I
career.
think
Beautiful.
what I feel like one of the struggles is that we take time off, but we still check our emails, and then we have to yell at the other one and be like, "Get off!"
Like,
so,
why
like,
is your like,
no, I
messenger
literally
green?
did that. So the whole time I was off for this Thanksgiving trip, the first 3 days I was checking my email, and then I was like, okay, stop. So I deleted my email, everything. I was like, no, you have to take the time off.
Yeah.
But we all we all have that tendency because we care.
Yeah, and
right?
that's so beautiful. Not that, but the fact that you guys aren't only caring for your clients, but you're also making sure that each one of you at Daya is taken care of as well.
Yeah, we try.
That's so
our best.
important.
Yeah.
I love that. Y'all hiring? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so what can be some challenges survivors face when it comes to being on a journey of healing?
I would say again, the major ones is financial. That's typically the main reason why survivors don't leave abusive situations, along with, not wanting to leave because of not wanting to affect their children's safety or their relationship with with whichever parent it is. Safety itself. So we do a lot of safety planning with clients, whether it's housing, emotional safety, financial safety, figuring out what documents to have, making sure they send it to a safe individual in their life. Also, there's legal barriers, housing, job, like some clients don't have or have not had an opportunity to have careers. So not really understanding how to navigate the job sector. So that can be a barrier, lack of education. And sometimes a key one is just lack of understanding how abuse works. So a key part of what we do with our clients is education on abuse and that empowerment. How can we change the mindsets? It's more than just, yes, we can do the utility assistance, but how are we going to help you with your long-term goals? And so it's readjusting a mindset, and it's a slow process. But yeah.
So walk me through step by step from the first time you guys receive a call. How does that go? Do we need to go? Okay. Yeah. So how does that go? Like, let's say you get a call today. What's the step by step that you guys take, the approach?
So the first thing would be our helpline advocate would take that call. They would do Elizabeth. Her name is Elizabeth. And if she is taking time off because she needs it too, then all of us are as back up on the helpline. But it starts with the intake. In that intake, there will be a risk assessment to ensure that client safety, even in that moment, because sometimes it's not actually safe. We always make sure that we don't contact the client in any method of communication that could cause more harm. So, of course, we do the intake, and then that client will get assigned to an advocate, typically within a week or less. And then their advocate will reach out to that client and work one-on-one with that client. We do our own intake with the client. We'll go over the history of abuse to really understand the case and all of the different nuances. Of course, figure out, if there's children, that can change the dynamic. If they have family support or friend support, that can also help, or if they don't. And then it really depends case by case what that client needs. If they already have safe housing, that's a key piece, then we don't need to worry about. But if they don't, we will make sure that they can get into a shelter or other like transitional housing situations or different public programs, things like that. And then address any immigration or like legal things. Counseling, emotional support, job readiness, transportation is another big one, food assistance, like all of the things. I feel like it really is, it's tailored to each client and what they need.
Yeah. And I would add that, one of the things, again, that's unique about Daya is we're able to offer services in over 16 languages, right?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
And so that is, as we think about providing culturally specific services, that's a huge part of it, right? So having them share stories in a language and, using words that's comfortable for them, that's a key part of what we do as well. And then I would add that, every service that we offer is free and completely confidentiality is a huge aspect of what we provide. And so there is that, again, the element of trust is a huge part because of this as well. So.
Yeah, I forgot about the language piece. We even have like all of our abuse education and tools that we use, we have them available in like almost every single South Asian language. So we're able to give those flyers or like templates and everything we have to clients and really connect with them exactly with whatever perspective they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really great. Okay.
Of South Asian women and men report experiencing at least one form of sort of gender-based violence in their lifetime. So when you say 48%, that's 1 in every 2 people. And so you are definitely, you have someone in your community that's affected by this. But of course, survivors are often not able to or don't disclose their abuse, even to their close family and friends for various reasons. We've discussed the fear, the stigma, the cultural, societal pressures they face, and just the lack of trust that we spoke about, and then lack of awareness as well. Like, firstly, that they're even in an abusive situation, and also if they are, what do they even do? Is there someone out there to help them? Are there resources available? So all of these sort of play into that, right? So the absence of like stories doesn't necessarily mean, of course, absence of violence. But I think one thing also just important to realize is that abuse, when you think of someone who's facing abuse, it doesn't fit like a specific profile.
Yeah.
A person or a family, this is the type of person who'll face abuse. It is one of those things that pervades all different aspects of our communities, all socioeconomic levels, all educational backgrounds, and anyone, right, of any age, gender, religion, can be a victim or a perpetrator as well. So, we always talk about, you probably know a perpetrator in your circle as well, and you don't even realize it. So, so that's one aspect. And then even if you're confident and you believe that nobody in your sort of close circle, family, is not facing any type of abuse, I mean, we live in a community, and it is happening in that broader community. So someone that you work with, someone that you go to, worship with, someone that you meet socially, there is someone who is impacted. And a lot of the time, I think just having conversations like this, acknowledging that abuse, exists in our community is such a huge part of just even those listening, right, to just understand that this could be happening. So I think just staying informed is so important.
Yeah.
And then talking openly like we are, believing survivors when they come, don't approach them with doubt.
Right.
Just accept what they're saying. Creating safe spaces. I think these are all the things that, we need to continue doing so that more survivors come out and speak. So I think just acknowledging that abuse is a real serious issue is a huge thing. And the more we do it, and the more we talk about it, I think the more it'll empower I feel like survivors are always listening and they're watching. And when they can sense that sense of community and support, it'll help them come out. I mean, Nancy, would you add anything?
I mean, I think like prevention is key, right? So prevention means so many things. This show is prevention. Talking about the different forms of abuse is prevention. I had a conversation with some family about a month ago, and the rhetoric was that, oh, but this doesn't happen in our sect of, in the Guju community. And I'm like, we're still here. But no, it is. Yeah. But having those tough conversations is important.
It is.
And then also being a listening ear for a friend, because you never know when somebody just needs a safe person. Yeah. And I think another key thing is that if you do know somebody going through abuse, don't, try not to make them feel guilty about not having left yet. Because, again, remember, it takes 7 tries to finally leave that abusive relationship. And somebody's safety is more important than doing something early. And every person is the master of their situation as well. Like, we never, we may have the tools as advocates of these are the exact steps we can take to get you out, but you know your situation best. because we never want to cause more harm either.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Follow your gut, I would say too.
Yeah.
I'd also add, like, to the prevention piece, I think teaching what a healthy relationship looks like. So even if we're not talking about abuse and all of that, but what is a healthy relationship, and starting early, right? Talking to our children and youth, teenagers, whether we like it or not, there's relationships happening, there's bonds being built. So how can you do that in a safe, healthy way? I think even just, we have Daya staff that does training around, those topics as well, especially to high school kids and so college kids. And I think that's a huge part as well. So if you know what a healthy relationship looks like, when something unhealthy happens, you're able to spot that as well.
Yeah.
So
That was, I think,
piece too. Yeah.
the last time that I was on. That was actually what we had
The topic,
discussed. It was Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And, even Googling and just researching what is a healthy relationship, what are dating red flags,
Yeah.
and just reading through those, when you start to see, where is your autonomy getting taken away, and that's where control starts to come in. And so that is ultimately then what leads to like an abusive or a form of abuse. It starts small.
Yeah.
So knowing what those initial red flags are too helps.
But I think also as parents, showing your kids what healthy relationships look like within the both mom and dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad.
Yeah.
I think that's important too. Like just being in a good, if they see that good foundation at home, they know that this is what I want when I start dating or whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
We also saw on your social media that there has been a loss in federal and state funding while the need continues to rise. How can the listeners support this need and make sure people are receiving these services?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, this is the harsh reality that Daya, our DV partners, other partners in this space, as well as honestly the larger nonprofit community is facing this year. There have been severe cuts in both state and federal funding. And for Daya, over half of our budget comes from state and federal funding. So we have, just in the last few months, faced over $400,000 in funding cuts. Not because we didn't submit a good proposal or anything like that. Those buckets of funding have just gone away. So none of our partners, have received funding from those streams. So that's of course a huge issue. But the reality also is the clients and the number of clients reaching out to us, that's been steadily increasing. So just for Daya, in the last 10 years, our client volume has doubled. Last year, we served over 625 clients, but this year we're already targeting to exceed 700 clients.
Wow.
And it's not just the number of clients, right? It's the number of hours, like Mansi spoke about, that goes behind each client in providing the variety of services that we do for them, right? So all of that gets impacted. So even things like we talked about rental assistance, financial assistance, childcare, like all of these things have been impacted by the loss of these grants. So, as we think about just providing support for Daya, I'm going to be the, of course, Director of Development and say monetary funds are always helpful. We're running our end of year campaign right now to help bridge some of that gap. So we're hoping to raise about $150,000. So, just making a monetary gift. And tomorrow's, of course, Giving Tuesday. So, we had Black Friday, so this is Giving Tuesday. So, finding that spare change.
Of
After
course.
all the shopping, I think just monetary contributions are always helpful. But of course, there's other ways to support as well. Like I mentioned, organizing a food drive. We do hygiene supplies drives. There's various ways you can help with in-kind donations as well. And so if that's a way, that you or your business or your community can help, that's always very helpful too. Now, I always talk about this is holiday party, time. And so we've actually had a couple volunteers in lieu of bringing gifts to their parties, say donate to Daya instead, right? So it's sort of gift, but also help get support from friends. And then, this last piece where we talked about training and education, since that's a huge part of how Daya supports the community as well, is helping us find, additional opportunities, right, to come out to the community. So if you're hosting, an event that Daya can set up a booth at, or if you want a training for your organization community, opening some of those doors for us to get into spaces where people don't hear about domestic violence and abuse, and having us come make a presentation and increase awareness among your friends or membership. That's a way that you can help as well. So several ways, of course. Money is always important, and with money, that's how like our client advocates, our team can support. But really, there's volunteering, of course, and there's several ways you can help. Whatever you can find in your heart and time, helps us a lot.
Wow. I can't believe it's already time to go.
Oh,
Time has flown, truly. Thank you, ladies, for coming on the show. And it was so nice to meet you, Taranya.
Yes,
I hope we get to see you again.
Yes, sure.
And Monsi, I love you. Thank you both
Thanks
for
for
coming
having
and
us.
sharing so much information with us. Thank you, listeners, for listening to us today here on 103.5 Hum FM. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Bye.